Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. I am yet your host. A viewer has requested their natal chart analysis, so that's what we'll be doing. Very unique looking natal chart. Okay, the first house is Gemini. The first house, and that is your ascendant as well. So they said, what is your ascendant or your rising sign? Of course, it would be Gemini. Now I'm just looking at the chart because if you notice, their moon is 1111. Their moon sign being Taurus, but it's 1111, and that's basically the universal number or the angelic number. So this person has 11 on their chart, also with Uranus. So that tends to be the master teacher. They also have the 22 degrees, 22, which is a twin flame number at Venus, because 1111 can also be 22. And Venus both rules Taurus and Libra. So you definitely see a lot of twin flames undertones on the chart. And that'll be interesting. And even like the twins is Gemini. So I don't even know if this person is knows about twin flames, because I would assume they would be asking about that. It's just too much twin on their chart. So it might have been reasons why they only asked for one chart, or maybe I don't know. But I would just assume that's just my assumption. But seeing all those 1111s and Venus 22 and all that, and I said this person definitely knows about twin flames. All right, and if you look at the true north node, which is their life purpose, there's Juno, which shows you serious relationships. So this person is definitely relationship minded. Now they'll get a free report. Everybody with their natal chart, they get a free report. And in that natal chart will be a lot of websites you can go to about twin flame awakening, twin flame drama, the stages of a twin flame. Because anybody in a twin flames relationship, if you're not studying that information, you're going to have problems. So you have to really know the stages. So we give that, it's at DNA Awakening on YouTube. DNA space awakening, 2 words. Twin flame drama is one video, excellent video, and the stages of twin flames. Now you know you see how she has a lot of 21s, so she can't get past the 2 1s. She has a lot of 11s. Her palace is 911. 956 is 911. So those numbers I'm saying are all numbers that are familiar with her. Even a number 19 at the end of the day, that's 91, still like 911 or 9. So the first house is ruled by Aries, and it's how the world sees you. Some people call it your mask. And Gemini's there. So this is a person who's going to be loves to communicate. Even if that communication is mental, we don't have enough evidence yet to say that they're a great communicator speaking to people. But mentally speaking, they have communications. A mental person, because that's Gemini. They like to get general information, but they don't need to know the deep stuff. But sometimes the universe will force them to go deeper. But in their first house, they kind of like to just know things, but they don't have to go really deep with it. They are about brotherhood, community around you, siblings, brothers and sisters, the environment around you, which could include family, younger education, and short distances. Like I said, they're not necessarily the type of person that wants to go deep and plunge deep into it, but they just want to general know what's going on. And because Aries is the energy of the first house, that's kind of like how their personality will be. That's how people will see them. And it can be very creative too, because Gemini, the third house is ruled by Gemini, fifth house is ruled by Leo. They're very creative houses. Now, the second sign, which is very unique, is Cancer in the second house. But the second house is about money, possessions, and value systems, ruled by Taurus. But the family is right there. So they had some type of Taurus family issues, because that's why Taurus ended up in the second house. And that's also their moon sign. And the moon sign represents the motherly, the nurturing, because the moon rules Cancer. So they definitely got some second house family stuff. So between their second house and then in the fourth house is Virgo with the home. So there's some type of Taurus-like motherly, nurturing, home-like situations going on in their life or past life. Now, why am I saying past life? Well, you see that Juno retrograde looks like an asterisk in the fourth house. That's Juno retrograde. Now, her true north node that looks like a little hook or a little horseshoe, that's supposed to have an aura. In fact, if you see anybody with a true north node that doesn't have an aura, that means they have problems wherever that node, whatever house that aura is in. But no other symbol should have that aura next to it, because that means a retrograde, and that means you have to just investigate. When I say it shouldn't have an aura by it, it means you have to investigate as to why. What's the aura? Is it a past life situation? But whenever you see a true north node with aura, that's the way it's supposed to be. All right, so we're already getting a lot of information about home, something about the motherly home issues or family issues, the mother there. And even Vesta is there. Vesta helps out with the home with Virgo. And Virgo rules the sixth house, the home. And she tries to keep it a nice home and family and keep it spiritual. And she also, believe it or not, Vesta deals with your heat, your energy, your electricity. And Vesta's in right next to Taurus. Right where you see that moon, right next to that is Vesta. And the moon in 11:11. So we're going to look at good fortune in the second house. We're going to look at good fortune in and you can tell this person is very creative, because in their third house you have Leo. So they can be a very artistic, creative, maybe even poetic. And Gemini rules that energy of the third house. So they might even be a writer. But so far I'm getting more mental than anything. But I could be wrong. As we go further in the chart, we'll find out. But some people are better just, they write it. If they write it on a piece of paper, or they're more mental, like they don't necessarily have to talk to somebody or need. But that's probably why they put Leo in the third house. Because now Leo wants to get out and be in front of the people. Leo wants to show off. But we'll see. Because even some of your best writers were just, they're more mental. Like you know, like you see a lot of piano players like that. They just sit behind a piano and they can be doing great stuff, but it's because they're behind it. It's because they're behind the piano. You don't realize it. That's why if you study Billy Joel, he was like that. He was real great, but he wanted to get out. He didn't want to be behind the piano, but he was a great writer. He was very mental. But he did try to do videos where he got out from behind the piano and danced around the stage or did other things, because he wanted you to know, like, I'm not stuck to this piano. But that's what you're seeing here right now with the first and third house, is that they're very mental, but they're kind of like, they don't necessarily want to come from behind. They're quiet place where they make up things, where they create things, where they think about things. But Leo energy is going to try to force them out. So again, good fortune in Cancer. We'll do Cancer first. Good fortune in Cancer. Warm, nurturing, and maternal. Like I said, we're just motherly all over your second house and your 12th house. Motherly all over. The person with the good fortune in Cancer seeks security in the domestic circle. For him, security is essential for happiness and success. But again, this is in your money sector. So somehow you're equating, in this life, you're equating money, possessions, and your value system with family. So now you want to know about good fortune in Cancer. I'm sorry, good fortune in the second house. Okay, this person has the drive, the patience, and the endurance, and willingly uses it for his personal assets, talents, abilities, and efforts to strive for financial success. They feel happy when they draw money, possessions, collections to himself. He needs these things with which to express himself. So what I'm getting from that is this person, that's what motivates them to go out and do something to make money or get money, is family. Like they wouldn't really care so much about the second house if it wasn't for family. But I'm not going to let go. There's something motherly there as well. They say the good fortune in the second house is good for money, but it's still based on the Cancer, the family. But it's also education. But this education is like teenage to adult education. It's land and property and real estate. It's family and ancestors. It's the heart. It's the vehicle. So any of those things might motivate this person for money. But because of that moon right there in Taurus, I know it's a motherly thing. Don't forget, Imam Coeli, that is the moon. Well, Imam Coeli, moon in Cancer, that's your 4th house. But Imam Coeli is whatever person raised you as in a motherly position. That's your Imam Coeli. That person will be in your subconscious mind for your entire life. And that's big for you. That's big for you in the second house. I think my Cancer is in the my second house too. But it's my true north node as well. So that connection is big for you. And you're using the money to nurture. You're using your money and even your possessions to nurture. And your value system is based on that motherly nurture. Because I would still say, well, even a teacher that nurtures. Like, that would be the type of teacher, if they were a teacher, they would be like a nurturing teacher. Because then anybody that's had a lot of teachers in their life, you know the different ones. You know the ones that were more nurturing, the ones that were more like this. Well, this teacher would be more like nurturing. Like sometimes you have a teacher that starts to worry about stuff that's none of her business, but she just really cares, so she's nurturing. You have some teachers they just want to punch and do their job and get the heck out of there. They figure it's none of my business. I'm not going to worry about it. But then you have other teachers that really worry about stuff and all that. That's a nurturing teacher, a caring teacher or something. All right, so we're not done with this yet. So now we have to go to your your 12th house first. We have to go to your 12th house now, because in order to really understand your second house, you got to understand your first, because they put that moon there for a reason. And as you see, you have a lot of 22s. You have the 1111. So they're really hitting you up with the 1111 and the 22s. And it's Venus all the way, because in your Venus is 22. Cases like that, if you keep hearing me pause, it's because sometimes you get input in from spirit. And yeah, you got the 2 1s. Yeah, you can kind of look at her house. She's got a lot of issues with people. She might be going, I don't have issues with people. Now, the 11th house is friends and association and groups. You got Mars there. Your Mercury is retrograde, which means communications. Like, even if she tries to talk, she's not really understood. And then you got Saturn there. But that's your sun sign, Aries. So this is a person who would rather not, like they'd rather perform. Even if they're highly creative, highly mental, which means they use their mind. That's a good thing. I'm saying that in a good way. Highly intelligent. But when I say it's different than just intelligence, this is mental. This is a person that's a thinking person. So they can definitely make great stuff, but it's just with that Mercury retrograde. But around people, it's misunderstood. So they prefer more to maybe perform by piano, or perform when they don't have to stand up in front of people, or maybe perform in such a way that they don't get critiqued. Critiqued. That's the best one to do with that word. Critiqued. I did it. All right. Now, so around friends association and groups, they can be misunderstood because of the Mercury retrograde, and that can lead to the Mars, the intensity. Plus, their sun sign is Aries, so they will duke it out with you if pushed. They may not go looking for it, but they're not going to back down if pushed. So that's a real interesting 11th house. And remember, the sun rules Leo. So the universe, especially the fire sign, the universe, the divine masculine of the universe, is trying to push this person out to not be afraid. I've made you very creative. You got a lot you can show to people. And even if they don't understand you, you've got to become a little bit aggressive to make them understand. And when I say aggressive, of course, in reasonable definitions of the word aggressive. But this is gonna take some time. I'm just letting you know, because I can't just, you gotta really look some stuff up. It's kind of funny. I said moon 11 degrees, and they took me to Gemini moon. But 2 different websites took me to Gemini moon. See, your ascendant is Gemini, but your moon isn't. But it's just ironic that happened, because your ascendant is Gemini. See, all this stuff is twin flame, just like I said, 11-11. See, that's why I told you, to really do this right, you have to be quiet, and spirit will show you. You got to let spirit tell you. Because, people don't understand it, and then they want to start talking and telling you a whole bunch of stuff, but it's not going to be accurate. It'll sound accurate, because if a person doesn't know any better, but you really want to hear spirit, because they're already telling me some type of Gemini thing going on here, but it's going back to the twins, just like I said. That's why when I looked at your natal chart, I said this is definitely twins. So like I said nothing about, I said moon 11 degrees, and everybody's saying Gemini. All right. Give me another moment. Now I'm going to go somewhere else. We're going to find out what type of moon, what phase the moon was in when you were born. Give me a moment. All right. Yep. You were born right before a new moon. Not a new moon, I'm sorry. You were born right before a full moon. Almost at the last day of that month. Now we got it. Wow, this is amazing. So I put in a moon 1111, and then it took me to a full moon in Taurus 1111. See, that's why I said you have to let spirit in. You got to let spirit take care of it. That's why if you just let people do their job, it's so much better for you. I'm talking about everybody. I've been doing this too long not to know that. And you'll still have people try to bully you or try to make you see something a different way. That's exactly what we wanted. Full moon in Taurus 1111. Because we got to get to the bottom of all of this. It's like a romantic twin flame story, but it's in the numbers. Full moon in Taurus. Now I'm at wakeup-world.com. Wakeup-world.com. This is full moon in Taurus 1111. That's the title. The Return from Darkness to Light. So you definitely have a connection to the divine feminine, but there's also some type of motherly stuff going on too. This article was published on November 7th, 2014. Again, 7-11, 11-7. Either way you look at it, even that's metaphysical. 2014 is 2 plus 1 is 3 plus 4 is 7. Person that wrote this article is Simon Vorster. Vorster. See, while everything seems very silent on the surface, and that's what I kind of said, the degree of inner transformation is intense. The Scorpio vibration has pulled us down into the deep, dark depths of our soul. Because a lot of people don't realize that, but when you deal with the moon, you are dealing with the soul as well. Like a submarine surveying the subterranean of the ocean floor. The vibration is bringing up all of our fears, insecurities, and wounds. And that's what your 12th house is about. Just so you know, because all this is going on in your 12th house. It's about your dark side, shadow side, subconscious stuff. Things going on in your minds. Things being revealed in your dreams. Past life. The 12th house deals with it all. Saying time to face those fears. And it has something to do with mother. You can't get past the motherly energy. Up all our fears, insecurities, and wounds, but also giving us a chance to completely examine our motivations and intentions. The search for our desires continue. So it searches on a resurrection of one's deepest desires. So you're trying to focus on what you need in order to actualize these desires and bring them into the light. Taurus is the nature of survival. Again, going back to the second house. See, sometimes people are like that. If they had a family situation, somehow they use their job to, I don't know, deal with it. Like a lot of depressed people, all they do is work all the time. Now, I don't have any proof to say this is depression. I'm just using this as an example. But a lot of times people do use their work for some form of healing or escapism. And we don't know, maybe the mother worked all the time or something, because there's definitely some mother thing going on there. So with a full moon at 11:11, you're being asked to say, what do I need in order for your direction? What do you need in order for your direction to have life to it? So this is not just needs, it's also a relationship. See, that's why you got that 11:11 and other people. So you're actually looking at how something is tying in with your needs and your value system, and do you really think it's worth it and all that. This is all going on in that 12th house. But it just has a motherly or moon connection to it. Now he goes back to the full moon. Because he went off on some other stuff. But I think he's looking at another chart. So he just started talking about some stuff that didn't seem like it related. So I was just trying to figure it out. But now he went back to the full moon message. The return to the light from the darkness. So that's why you are in your 12th house. Because your 12th house is taking all that darkness and shadow side and subconscious stuff and fears and egos and everything. And it's trying to bring it out. But the 12th house also deals with karma as well. So the full moon in Taurus is asking you to reflect on your values and needs. It's also reminding you of the value of having a strong foundation which gives you the security to manifest new desires. And that's why I think they think they can do it with employment. See, when you see family, it is indirectly talking about the family you were born into or out of, however you look at it. But it also can be your family, like if you get married or something, or whoever you're with in a relationship. So that's why I said I didn't want to rush this, because I could kind of tell. The North Node. Okay, so your North Node isn't there, so we're not going to talk about that. I just want this person to stick to what the article is supposed to be about, which is the Moon 1111 in Taurus. So it's trying to help you evaluate what's really of value to you, what's really helping you, and to maybe let go what isn't. So they are saying be very attuned to, which I'm pretty sure you are. Anything with 1111, but those numbers I read out too. Whatever number you heard me read out, because those are your numbers. Okay, now he says 1111 represents the unity of all things, that we are of all the same vibration, even though we appear to be separate in the physical. And that is kind of what you try to learn in the 12th house, because the 12th house is ruled by Pisces, all about spirituality and so-called Christ consciousness. That we're really all one, but it's a lot of fears there, and you got to work on your own fears while you're trying to help people become stronger as well. Okay, the number 1111 also symbolizes number 4, the 4 elements, which combine to create the one, the totality of everything. When you see these numbers, 1111, you are being asked to pay attention to this connection. So integrate the 4: body, mind, emotions, spirit, and then you have to embody them through the flesh and the spirit as one. You have to line up the ego, the source, and the desire, and they call that the water trinity. All right. Give me a moment. Full moon, a veil of self absorption is lifted, and suddenly you gain access to an unbiased view of others. So again, it is helping with that relationship. This is a rare moment when you can see yourself objectively and become aware of whether or not what you want in your heart is actually beginning to manifest in your life. Traditionally, the full moon phase stirs emotion, and this is because when you see what is happening, you may become upset if you're experiencing the same old, rather than the things you would like. If the moon phase is a disappointment, we don't want to go that far. We're just talking about the full moon. Right? Okay, so it says about the full moon in Taurus. This helps for the healers, the priestess, the midwives, all kinds of to work with earth-based wisdom traditions such as rhythm, seasons. All right, give me a second. All right, I'm gonna read this. You just have to, because this person's making a lot of good points, but they're kind of mixing it in with some other stuff. I'm just trying to pull out what's pertinent to what I want to see, on this chart. Every culture has its own system of healing. So a full moon, especially in Taurus, helps you dig into your lineage. Because I told you this is like family and mother stuff going on. Aimon Kweli, the subconscious mind. So the full moon in Taurus is trying to help you remember who you are, and that's why I think I already mentioned Vesta, but she's the high priestess. She's the priestess, and you can call on the protective forces you have. Whenever your 12th house is always about protective forces, and even that's deep to find out if we can find out what that is. So they're saying if you have a full moon in Taurus, it's actually trying to help you reclaim like who you really are. Because I told you the moon deals with the soul. The moon definitely deals with reincarnation. You can look that up on YouTube. So your 12th house, it's just is deep. Like they are connecting you to a power, but with the numerology, they're making the implication that it's a twin flame thing. So it might be, may not be, but even with the 1111, still dealing with some type of angelic connection. It's definitely motherly, but I still think it is a connection to your earthly mother. That's what I'm trying to put together. Because remember, Cancer, the moon, they all deal with family and ancestors. So this would deal with past lives and all kind of stuff. So this person may be interested in like finding out the truth of her lineage, the truth of her past lives, her bloodline, and she wants to correct stuff. Like if she feels history didn't tell her truth, she would try to correct it, try to get it corrected. So the full moon in Taurus helps you remind you of your spiritual, political, family ancestries, the pain, the strength, the shame, the theft, the loss, the love. See, like I said, that's the 12th house. It's all about reckoning. The souls that could not be diminished no matter what material reality they had to live within. So you're trying to heal because you realize with the moon in Taurus that just like you've been harmed, you may have also harmed also. Um, just got to give me a moment because this person is kind of like going on and going on, which is causing me. It's hard for me to keep up with them because when I move they wrote so much that when I move my cursor, I just lose everything. So then I have to use my find command to get back to where I was. And they say the moon in Taurus will remind you that you have spirits around you, protecting forces around you that'll help you if you call out to them. That you're never alone. Because the 12th house can be a very lonely house. So it's trying to help you be spiritual as well. Give thanks. Because Taurus is like the Pope tarot card. It's the Hierophant. And it does deal with marriage. The Pope deals with marriage. And then Taurus and the Archangel cards is Chamuel. And Chamuel will help you find your soulmate. But Chamuel is very loyal. He's a wonderful friend. All right. So yeah, this is right there. So yes, your 12th house is very spiritual. Very spiritual. So a lot of times when I see that, you either got a connection to a high feminine deity power, or they're also telling you that your mother was a high spiritual power. But I just they'll do that sometime. But when they put the 1111 in, that's what really got my attention. And that's why I'm kind of taking my time to get through that. See, I understand spirit. You show a little respect, and you'll be blessed with it, because that's what this is about. Like, who are you? Plus, I have feminine deities come to me all the time. I have saints, all kind. I have females that they were young and they were brutalized because some pervert king or something wanted to have sex with them and they wouldn't do it, and they were put to death. So I know when to be respectful. All right. Um. See your whole thing. Your whole 12th house, 1111, is going to still be 22 twin flames. Then you got the 22 at the east point. It's just a real deep message. Many people associate a repeating 1111 with the wake-up call, code of activation, and awakening code of consciousness. So again, it would be the moon waking you up, but the moon is waking you up for a reason. A key to unlock the unconscious, the subconscious mind, and that's why it's in your 12th house, because that's exactly what your 12th house does. And remember, the moon used to rule Pisces. That's why on your tarot cards, the moon is associated with Pisces. Now it rules Cancer. So the moon wants to remind you you are a spiritual being having a physical experience. You're not a physical being, and that's why. So yeah, so that's kind of, so if you've had any career problems, now you may already know why, but they're not going to let you do it. That's why this is what I'm trying to tell you. This is why this is taking so long, because I'm like, what is going on? Because they're trying to tell you you got to have a purpose. And you guys heard what I said. This is twin flame. You can't get past it. But she didn't ask about twin flame. She just asked about herself. But it's written all over her chart. So I don't know if she's been there already. She's in separation. She's given up. But they're not giving up. And you can see it. Like, yours is powerful. You see, I'm humbled by it. Like, I'm watching my steps. So so when you want to get to career, they're like, nah. You're like, because this is like money sector and everything. But they're telling you ancestors, family, your twin soul. So she may have tried many times to push on, because usually that's what you do. You just want to work. You're tired of this. This life it's not working for you. You're sick of the bullshit on this planet, and you're just trying to do you. You know, leave me alone. Do you? I'm highly creative, because I'm the same way. Highly creative, but I don't want to perform in front of you. Now that's okay. So then they're pushing you out there. So that 1111 is really working on your subconscious mind with the moon, because you're of a priestess order, and that's why a priestess order. That's why Vesta's right there, and then right there with the moon, and then they're letting you know, okay, you're looking at your career, like your money, your value system, and all that. It's not typical, because it's real family based. But they're not just talking about your present family now. They're talking about your spirit family. So you have to remember, spirit comes first and not the physical. And with 1111, it's going to bring you synchronicities and miracles, coincidences in your life. 1111 can also mean you're about to experience or have experienced major spiritual awakening. You might have an epiphany of some kind. Can tell you it's an upcoming change or shift coming. So when you see 1111, take notice of the thoughts you had right at that moment, as 1111 indicates that your thoughts and beliefs are aligned with your truths. So if you have an idea that's positive at 1111, carry it out. If you have an idea that's negative at 11:11, you might want to see if you can shift it or consider it. Should you change it or improve it? 11:11 can also indicate that an energetic gateway has opened up for you and will rapidly manifest your thoughts into reality. Choose your thoughts wisely. Ensure that they match your true desires. Do not focus on fears, as you may manifest them in your life. And that, again, that's why that's in your 12th house, because that's fears and egos. And we want to keep the stuff in the closet, but the 12th house is going to make it come out. Ensure that your beliefs, thoughts, and mindsets are positive and optimistic. And then you will draw the energies of abundance and balance in your life. Because remember, I told you about Venus. And Venus is about balance, harmony, Libra, Taurus. They try your best not to think negative thoughts, because it's going to draw negativity into your life. Angel number 1111 is similar to the bright light of a flash bulb, because they said light out of darkness. It means that the universe has just taken a snapshot of your thoughts and is manifesting your ideas, thoughts, and beliefs into material form, creating your experiences and realities. Use positive affirmations. I will do this. Optimism is thinking, oh, it's a beautiful day. Oh, I'm not going to let anything get me down. You won't steal my joy. This positive thing is going to happen. So you got to understand, like, negative energy knows if you're righteous, and they're going to try their best to break you. And that's why the best thing you can do is get even more involved with spirit and make sure you're dealing with people who know what they're talking about. That's why I said, if you're talking about, oh, I don't like your tone, if you haven't learned how to listen to content, then you have a serious problem. You got to learn content. So your positive affirmations and optimistic attitude will assist you serving your spiritual life purpose and soul mission, which we're learning. You may already know, but we're learning it from your natal chart. Angel number 1111 tells you to look to new beginnings, opportunities, and projects with a positive and optimistic attitude. And they say it again, do not allow fears or doubts or concerns to hold you back. It also, angel number 1111 also encourages you to assist and inspire the human race via your natural abilities, relying on your inner wisdom and intuition to guide you. So that's why you're in the 12th house, because that is about helping other people, sacrificing, helping other people. And know that the angels will support you. Angel number 1111 shows you how to begin creating your reality and is confirmation that your intentions are in the process of manifesting. So now you want to always have a journal, write it around. You can have one, a dream journal at your dream bed, but you might even have some type of journal with you throughout your daily day to write down, draw, whatever you do. Don't give up on your creations. In fact, you can take your creations more to the angels. Now, when you're dealing with creations and stuff, you want to deal with Archangel Gabriel. Therefore, you can get an Archangel Gabriel card deck. But you can also get the oracles if you don't already have them. Those are the two decks I have. Because there's something with you is significant, something wonderful. But it's just that you're being tested, in my opinion, with third dimensional BS. but there's so much beauty they have for you. Your Vesta is 666. That's perfect love. 666 is 18 degrees. Perfect love. And then the number 21 is 777. Perfect harmony. You got 22s all in your 12th house. And the 13 is also another aspect of the dark feminine. And a lot of times you'll see like the number 6 around the number 13, because that's the 666 perfect love. 13 is the darkness, the divine feminine, darkness. And even your Venus is at 22. So you have a lot going on in a good way. Taurus in the 12th house. You aspire to be selfless and sensitive, because Taurus is sensitive, sensual. Taurus likes massages, and eating. But of course, it all depends on what house you're in. Now, in the 12th house, Taurus might just be depressed. You don't really know. But Tauruses can be sensitive and compassionate to the world and its creatures. It says you may forego your own financial and material stability to make sure others are stable, safe, and secure. See, that goes back to that nurturing, though. But you always have to be careful of that, because you still do need money, and you still got to pay your bills. So you never want to just sacrifice that because of family or people who you consider family, because you kind of see that in your second house. That's not really a good place to have, because I'm like that, and I'm learning not to do that. The archangels had to change my thinking, because you may be nurturing, motherly, or you're trying to help everybody, but you still got to get your bills paid too. So it says you would rather give away your resources to others than to keep them for yourself. But they say if you keep doing that, you'll sacrifice yourself. See, the 12th house is also martyrdom. What does martyrdom mean? It means you're helping so much, you allow people to wear you down. So you have to know your no. You have to know what are you trying to do, but what do you have to do for yourself as well. It's not so much you just give up on yourself to help other people. Or, I'm just so depressed that I'm just going to just help everybody with their problem. So you got to really still be helping, working on your life as well and your goals and how are you dealing with things. And you can't run away. You can't escape. And they tell everybody, because some Tauruses are about money and possessions and stuff. So some Tauruses in the 12th house, they may say, hey, I'm going to give away because I know I'm going to get it back. Because my Taurus is in the 12th house too. So you can't do that because that may not happen. You got to be very realistic. If you give from the heart, but don't think, hey, if I give a lot, I'll get a lot back, because it may happen. I've seen it happen, but it may not happen. So you got to be very careful. So with Taurus in the 12th house, you really want to have a cosmic consciousness, compassion, atonement, universal principles, and trying to understand these things. Because they say Taurus has difficulties being compassionate or understanding. Because the focal point of most Tauruses seems to center entirely on self and selfish interests. Now, this is astrologyclub.com, Taurus in the 12th house. So, Taurus in the 12th house has got to learn how to get along with people and kind of like go with the flow and try not to bully. And if you do feel like you have because remember, Taurus is the sign of like the Hierophant or the Pope. So you might be a very spiritual person, and you are, because Vesta. So if you feel God has shown you something, that doesn't mean you violate. That doesn't mean you go, well, I'm Taurus in the 12th house, so I'm just going to work with everybody because that's what astrologyclub.org means. No, you would do what God tells you to do, but you don't have to do it in a mean way. And if you feel yourself, getting that way, because Tauruses can be bullies too. But sometimes you're just defending yourself, but you're still doing it in kind of like a powerful way that maybe you could calm it, back it down. But you still want to obey God. Also, Tauruses are good because people will tend to follow you. Like if they're in a room and they're trying to come up with something, when you come in a room, they're going to try to gravitate towards you, and they'll actually change what they were saying because of you. And all these are astrology. Because I forget that, because I'm a Taurus and I forget that so much. Because I just be I'm old school. I'm just doing it because it needs to be done. I don't care what people think. I'm not looking for no type of what's the word? Attention, adulation, or nothing. For the most part. So you're just trying to go in and get your job done and get out. But everybody wants, it's like, where did the masked man go? Like, where is he at? Because everybody wants to talk to him and thank him and have a big conversation. I'm like, nah, that's wasting time. So you forget, but I'm a Taurus in the 12th, so that'll happen because you're not doing it for that reason. So what I'm learning now as we speak, I'm trying to find a balance. But sometimes you do have to go your own ways or whatever you're going to do, because some ways might not be working for spiritual growth. And that's why you can't have people sucking into your energy, because then it's going to drain you. And I just read it. You may be worn down by others' inability to give to themselves, because you're always giving, helping, and then you get worn down. And then you're kind of looking for them to be there for you, and they're not. So that's why I say you got to be balanced with all of this. And that's what Libra is really about. Libra is about balance based on reality. A lot of people think Libra is about balance. Well, Libra can be unrealistic at times, but real balance is the way it really is. You understand? See, if people don't want to do 50-50, then you might only do 40 or 30. You go lower because they don't want to do 50-50. So you're thinking, I'll do 50 and they'll do 50, but then they don't do 50. Now you're doing 60. And now guess what? Now you're doing 70. And now maybe you're getting closer to 80. So at what point are you going to stop before you wear yourself out? So you have to know reality. That's what real balance is. What's reality? Oh, they only want to give 30? Well, I'm not going to give more than 30 if they're only going to give 30. Because they could do more, but they don't want to. Why am I doing 40 and 50 and 70 because they only want to do 30? So Taurus has to be careful also, because Taurus likes to put value on everything. But you're not supposed to do that with people. Like Jim, who does very little for you, you have to respect Jim the same way you do Phil, who does a lot for you. Because otherwise you're saying, oh, Jim, your value, you're not that important to me because you ain't doing nothing for me. But Phil, hey, Phil, you do a lot for me. Hey, Phil, how's your family? How was that vacation? Hey, Phil, you're looking. You got all the conversation in the world for Phil, because Phil gives something back, and there's value to Phil. That's how a Taurus, on a lower frequency, that's how Taurus is. But they're in the 12th house, they're saying become a higher frequency Taurus, a higher octave, and just treat everybody with compassion and love and neighborliness. And Taurus is on a lower vibration. They try to hang around people of prestige and all that stuff. So when they get a higher vibration, everybody's the same. So they say, Taurus, you don't want to be passive in the 12th house. You don't want to sit back. You actually want to be actively involved in helping everybody grow with their spirituality. So whatever gifts you have, whatever you want to have, help with that. So they say Taurus in the 12th house should try to find work or volunteering, whatever you're doing, but in institutions or organizations whose principles are based upon universal concepts. And they say because the 12th house is about confinement, Taurus doesn't want to confine things. They want to try to be universal. But again, because that's a spiritual house, like I said, you may have spiritual obligations that you just can't be everybody's friend, and each person is different. But you can't be everybody's friend, and you can't just tolerate everything. But at the end of the day, just find balance based on reality in the 12th house. Now we're still going to do a little bit more. Just give me a moment. They say a new moon is introspective, but the full moon is public. It bursts forth with energy. The emotional proclamations made now appear new and unrefined simply because they are expressed as a burst of energy that has not yet been rationalized. Yes, they can be loony and sometimes infantile, or like an infant. But the surge of emotional energy can spur us into healthy action nevertheless. We need to get something out of our system. We are in need of validation in the areas stimulated by the full moon. But we had to avoid the tendency to project our own state of restlessness or frustration onto others. And that is something else about the 12th house, because sometimes people use the 12th house to do a pity party. So the 12th house is really supposed to be about helping other people, so you want to try not to make it about yourself. That's another warning in the 12th house. So they say with a full moon in the 12th house, you have to really avoid being emotional and blaming or just bringing up everything. Just bringing up everything you've been through and stuff. Because the 12th house is really supposed to be a house of service to others. Full moon in the 12th house, circumstances are such that you have an overwhelming need to be alone. You've been busy with all sorts of everyday activities, deeply involved in your work and routines. It's time to balance your life with some downtime, otherwise you simply don't feel whole. And yet, wherever you see Vesta on your chart, you do have to find some time to calm down and wind down or reflect, be spiritual. Otherwise, it could cause health problems. But you don't want to just run and hide in the 12th house. The 12th house is not running and hiding. It's actually dealing with what's going on inside of you so you can get healing. Issues come to light that originate from deep within. It's an excellent time to get in touch with what's been brewing beneath the surface. A secret or private matter may be revealed, because that's what the moon does. It's like revelations. A health matter could come to light, and that's why we said don't burn yourself out in the 12th house, because you are going to have health problems, because that's what Vesta is trying to tell you. Or a work project can reach culmination. All right. Just give me a moment. All right, I'm going to read this. This is the astrologyplacemembership.com. Now, again, in your 12th house, usually a planet in your 12th house can tell you who your angel is. Or Jupiter is a guardian angel, but it's also an angel of luck. It looks out for you, blesses you. The more you bless others, it blesses you. Whatever you obey in the 12th house, you get blessings from Jupiter in the 12th house. And Pluto in the 12th house is your extermination angel. In other words, if somebody's or something's in your life that needs to go, Pluto will take it out. So I was trying to find out about the moon in the 12th house. But what angel? But this says with the moon in the 12th house, all your emotional boundaries are extremely diffused, and the emotional and the psychic and instinctive qualities that are within are likely to be very powerful. So the moon diffuses emotional boundaries and gives power to psychic and instinctive qualities. So they say because of this, you have to be very careful because it could become emotionally overwhelming because you're going to be somewhat like an infant. You'll be able to feel everybody's emotions and all that. And you got to be careful. And anything with the moon and Cancer, you have to be very careful because they're very susceptible to like especially like Scorpio energy or 8th house energy, maybe even 12th house energy. But you can really have like problems with spirits, so you have to be very careful of that. So they say 12th house mooners, and that's what you are. You're a 12th house mooner. They're like psychic vacuum cleaners. They suck in whatever is circulating in the atmosphere. So they're warning you again that you have to go into privacy. But again, you should be making sure you have information on protecting yourself from spirits and evil energy and stuff. See, that's what I'm trying to tell you. This is all the stuff I learned in life, because I got a high Cancer as well. You got to learn all that stuff, because if not, you go out into this world with you're trying to help and being a great person, and you'll get squashed, because you're around people that are still carrying spirits on them. They're not trying to get no deliverance and stuff, and all that energy's coming your way. You're actually helping people who, like, if you could see, like Edgar Casey could see, like the colors around the people and stuff. If you could see, you wouldn't even deal with most of those people, because what you're looking at is people that have learned how to come out in public and act a certain way, but they're not working on nothing. They're not working on deliverance, repentance. So they got all this evil energy, and you think somehow you're going to help them, and you're going to get devoured. That's why they're warning you at the same time. So the feeling realm of your personality is frequently filled with ideas, images, inspirations, and there's a need to withdraw into privacy. Okay, we read that. Privacy and stillness, you may have to withdraw there at the end of the day, or whenever you can regularly. They say you tend to be oversensitive and will often feel extraordinarily vulnerable. And since you possess a boundless compassion and empathy for everyone, you're often swept away by sympathy and play host to every down and out individual. So that's why you got no money in that second house, because you're giving it away or falling for or some other stuff. So they definitely say a private person hesitant to reveal your feelings and needs, often fearful of your vulnerability. You block awareness of your feelings. You seek refuge from your inner world in habitual activities, which you perform in an automatic manner. Sounds like me. Contacting your hidden emotional self may be difficult for you because you have developed a lifetime of defenses against primitive levels of need and dependency, which frighten you. Yeah, because you're told to evolve, you're told to grow, but then you do, and you realize like it feels like you're the only one. And now you're in this level where you don't want to go back to low level thinking. But now you got all this stuff. It's like you're almost forced to go back. You feel like you're in a Walking Dead movie, and they're trying to get their hands on you and pull you back into that forsaken hole. I don't want to go back. You're the one to push me out of this hole. Now you think I want to go back? So it's not easy. But you've got to learn to take authority. See, you can't have that. You can't be looking around for somebody to save you, and you can't be looking around for you got to learn how to do it. Because life is, see, one thing you got to realize, life is going to go on. Let's say you go crazy. Life is still going to go on. Let's say you're trying to help somebody and they turn around and kill you. Because that happens a lot. Life is going to go on. You have to learn to think smarter. You don't have to be afraid, but just learn how to think smarter. You got to accept reality. It's not about idealism. See, that's Neptune, Pisces. That's the deception. This life is not about idealism. Some nice things do happen. Some good things do happen, but there's a lot of bad. You have to be careful. So they say you may feel intense shame in regard to the child self, which is buried within you. Your secret self, illuminating the mysteries of the 12th house. So anyway, in the 12th house, that's why you're taking notes. And you are working on these things. And if you got to find somewhere to go to work on them, you should. But you don't want to carry dark energies and dark past and repression, because it's going to be used against you. The way, like I said, out of the darkness into the light. The way to overthrow this energy is to become into the light. Don't let it have a hold on you. And that's why when you watch Star Wars, that's what that was about. They were talking about the dark or whatever. You got the Force and you got the dark, whatever. And you got Dark Vader and all that. But he had to come into the light. That's the only way Luke Skywalker won. He came into the light. And when that old guy was trying to kill him with the dark energies and everything, Luke was able to fight it with, like, not just light, but it was love. Because he said, I know I can feel you have love in your heart. So he decided not to fight. And he trusted that Darth Vader would not let his son be killed by this psychopath. and Darth Vader didn't. So that was highly metaphysical, but that's the way it is. You're fighting something that can't beat you. If you really understand metaphysics, you are fighting something that's allowed to tempt you, try you, but the only way it can beat you is if you give up. But once you get, when you fight, and that's why you have that Aries. That's what I'm trying. Like, I'm trying to see it, because I was looking at this like, what are they saying? But that's why they gave you Aries, so that you can fight. But you gotta fight. But you just can't be afraid of your 12th house, and that's why they're there trying to help you. You got to realize who you are, and you got to begin to really fight. And then Leo is trying to help you be more. Don't be afraid to go out in the community, and don't be afraid to show the world your talents and stuff. And if somebody, if somebody in the 11th house is trying to bully you or put you down, and you got a lot of Mars Aries, because Mars and Aries, wow, that's the last person you want to mess with, is a Mars and Aries. So you may go out into the daily life, but then you come home. Seclusion, sanctuary, retreat. Some 12th house moon people can be extremely shy and suffer from feelings of claustrophobia and other fears. So again, you got to work on that. And you got to learn to stop keeping everything hidden away. And again, you might feel lonely or isolated, but again, it's up to you to work against it. However you do it, but you got to do it. If you got to get professional help, whatever it takes. You might join some communities online and start out that way, communicating more. But whatever it takes, you got to come out. I got a friend, she's got her channel now. When she first came out, she never came on camera. And now she's on camera all the time, talking and everything. So they keep talking about your childhood because it always goes back there. And it might have been something with your mother, but you have to deal with it. See, now it says it. In astrology, the moon rules the mother and often reflects a parent who has been hospitalized, in prison, or in some other 12th house institution. Because that's what the 12th house is about. The mother may have passed away early in life, or sometimes she is very difficult to get hold of emotionally. A female figure in early childhood may have been incredibly sensitive and made many sacrifices for the family. And again, that's what the second house would kind of mean. Like they sacrifice maybe ways to make money and stuff like that for family reasons. Say sometimes you might cry, but there's nothing wrong with crying. Crying can be good. But you just have to deal with regression. And it's funny they say Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland, and I was just thinking about the rabbit in the hole. And I wish I could remember why I was thinking about the rabbit in the hole today. So they say you stay in repression because you keep telling yourself, be strong, don't cry. See, that's why I get so sad, because her chart is beautiful with all these 11/11s and Venus all over. And it's really like that, y'all. Like, it is really like that. Like, there is, like, you could have, like, great love, but third dimensional kind of does mess it up. But sometimes it's us too, because we have a lot of fears and we won't give it a chance, and we don't want to be hurt no more. So it's kind of our fault too, because we stop trusting. The more you work with spirit and get strength back, because you gotta remember, like if you were a Leo, see, I'm a Leo, you can remember when you weren't afraid and you believed in love and you were running all over the world loving everybody, and and then you kept getting hurt and kept getting hurt and getting hurt, and that wonderful, loving, beautiful lion turns into this little scared pussycat, and now you're somewhere hiding out, hoping nobody bothers you. So you got to break it. You got to come back out. Like, you got to stop being so afraid too. So you're afraid of drowning in your feelings, your repressed feelings, but you're also afraid of becoming vulnerable to others and then being rejected again and abandoned. So that was deep. That was the astrologyplacemembers.com. But there is an angel in that 12th house that's there for you, but I just don't know who it is. Planets in the 12th house. What is this? Alright, so that was a long time to be in somebody's house. But we're not done yet. Now we're going to do Vesta conjunct the moon and see what they say. Because like I said, she deals with confinement too. But I'm sure Vesta doesn't want you to be an isolationist. Sometimes it's necessary. Even if you do it daily, but you're here for a reason. You got to remember you're here for a planet. You're here for a reason, and you have a lot of power on your natal chart. So you just got to get the healing you need, get the healing and the motivation you need. And that's why I said you can't always wait around for a twin flame to save you and all that. They may be there too, but a lot of times your twin flame's not going to come nowhere near you if you're all gloomy and depressed and negative energy. They won't come around you. It's like when you start getting happy again and wanting to get out, and then they'll just pop up out of nowhere. Like, oh, now here you come. I finally got over the pain you put me through, and now we go, oh man. But the only reason why they put you through that pain was because, exactly, like if you want to victimize everything, I'm gonna turn you into a victim. They're actually helping you. So the harmonious aspect of Vesta in the moon can give an instinctive ability to focus. All right. See, Bob Mark is pretty good, but he doesn't really understand like the asteroids, and that's very important. But either way, you're dealing with the priestess. And also remember, the moon is the divine feminine through Cancer. The mother. Vesta works with Virgo, which is the home or the 6th house. Your EP is your East Point. It's just saying that's where the sun was at. That's where the sun was at when you were born. Over the ecliptic. The sun going over the ecliptic when you were born. But the reason why the sun is on your chart primarily because it's trying to make you come out. Because you become reclusive, possibly repressed. So the sun is trying to make you come out. And whenever we're going through any type of parent issue, it hurts. Because they're our parents and we wish they hadn't done that. But you got to understand they've been through stuff too. See, I've learned, this is a crazy planet. It's a lot of crazy stuff. And like I studied a lot of metaphysics and a lot of history and the Earth's history. So not everything is bad. But if you focus on bad, that's what you're going to get. But the bottom line is, when we realize that they went through some stuff too, they might have went through some stuff we don't know about. So we're steady like say, oh my dad, but his dad might have did some crazy stuff. So you have to learn we're all in this, whether we like it or not, we're all in this together. You got to learn stuff like forgiving, forgetting, and you got to realize this is your life. This is why you're here. So you don't want to spend your whole life talking about, oh, this happened, 1967. I was minding my own business and so came home and Okay, that's 1967. Sorry that happened, but it's 2000 and something. So you gotta heal. You gotta heal. So that's what the 12th house is. But you gotta be honest with all these things you're saying. So we did your first house, second house, 12th house. Your third house, it's just Leo telling you to become creative. Get out in community. Don't be afraid of people. The people want to see you. Don't be afraid to show your talents. Have confidence. Be the sunshine. The ruler of Leo is the sun. Be the sunshine. Don't be afraid. Take a nice trip. Get some air. Go have some fun, because Leo also rules the 5th house. Very creative. 4th house is family. Now the unique thing is, but you have the Virgo. You have the home sector in your 4th house of family, and that is feminine too. So we already told you what your 4th house is about, education, all that. Now the 6th house, which is what Virgo is, Virgo rules your 6th house. Home, service, health, healing, daily activities, small children, small animals, co-workers, subordinates. And this is your true north node, which is your life purpose. They kind of like have a family home environment, probably based on other things we said about family and home. Now Juno is saying you would meet someone, but there may be infidelity. So you might meet, because even your 12th house could actually be talking about somebody with a Taurus sign or a Pisces sign. It could just be talking about whatever I said earlier. But your Juno retrograde could also be like somebody with the sign Virgo or Cancer, or it could just mean a person who's like family minded and home minded. But unfortunately, there's been some form, or will be some form, of infidelity because Juno is retrograde. Then when you get to your 6th sector, because if you're noticing, wherever you deal with relationships, you see retrogrades. So when you get to your 5th sector, now this is all about fun, but this person doesn't want to go out and have fun unless it's with somebody, some type of partner, some type of relationship. But Libra just has to be careful, because Libra and Virgo can be too perfectionist. Virgo has a knack for finding indiscrepancies, or oh, you misspelled that word. They're experts, because I've seen it done. They're experts. So they have to realize, is what I'm saying needing to be said, because Virgo can really kind of be critical, and Libra is like a perfectionist. So that can be a problem, because nothing's perfect. Nothing's perfect. And when you have Lilith retrograde, it goes back, because Libra's like that anyway. But see, Lilith retrograde and Libra both hold it in. So once again, this is reclusion over and over again. I'm just waiting for that to stop ringing. So you got to really work on that. See that, because you wouldn't have a relationship anyway, because you'd be too recluse. See that's the whole thing. Relate. How can I relate to you if you're reclusive? If you're keeping all your emotions to yourself. So again, but that tends to be what Lilith will do, and Lilith can really become vindictive. Like she'll find you guilty for something you might not even be guilty of. So that's a difficult house, because you have you can't. Libra likes a lot of kind of idealistic. Like they want a man, but they have this perfect nobody's perfect. So first they'll be all into it, but once they start to see the guy's faults, they start to fall back. And Virgo's a lot like that. And then when you have Lilith there with Libra, you know, all kind of stuff, because you're dealing with internal. Lilith retrograde is internal, and, you know, she'll hold it all in, and then she might try to get revenge, and you didn't even do anything, really. But she's not talking, so you don't know what's going on. And sometimes she can even just blow up, depending on the situation. She'll just blow up. Like something could have happened maybe like 6 months ago. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll be something else, and she'll just blow up. And she'll spaz out, and you'll be like, what the hell is she talking about? And it's almost like you can't even remember it. Yeah, we went out that night, and yeah, why is she talking about that now? You know? So these are things you have to be mindful of. And I try to teach people, you have to see life. If you're going to be in a relationship, you have to see life from another person's viewpoint. Like if you're sitting around waiting till one person, I can't wait till so-and-so comes. When they come in, see, you're waiting on somebody else to make you happy. See, you got to make yourself happy. And you got to be mature enough to realize nobody's always going to make you happy. And you got to know that if you're going to get into any type of relationship. Because nobody's going to sit around just wanting to make you happy all the time. And that's one of the biggest problems. And sometimes you have to ask yourself, if you got all this repression going on, you might see counseling. Like in a lot of my videos, I don't know if I do it with these videos anymore. I don't know. But a lot of my videos, I have 1-800 numbers and stuff like that to help people. Like, because you just can't sit around waiting for somebody else to do it. It's your life. And everybody's going through something. Just about. Because if you're not careful, we just victimize. And then it's not my fault and blah blah blah. So we free ourselves of our responsibility to deal with it. And then we're upset if somebody comes in our life, we're blaming them, but actually it's our own energy that's repelling that person. So now you got to the home, and now you see Scorpio. So now you know you're dealing with soul families and soul issues again. And the 8th house and your 12th house, all about dark side, shadow sides, secrets, especially Scorpio. Scorpio is all about secrets, mysteries, high sexuality, high emotions, power struggles, all kind of stuff. So now this home would definitely have power struggle issues and stuff like that. So that's not necessarily good. That cross is a vertex, and that means this is where you're going to have a significant meeting, significant event, significant breakup, or even a soulmate meeting. A soulmate is anybody in your soul group or soul family, or a twin soul meeting. And again, that is same soul, different body. And if you notice, this 6th house is opposite your 12th, where we saw the 11-11. So now we know your 12th house also has to do with your twin soul or twin flame. And again, you have Chiron retrograde, which means something happened, some type of hurt that is hard to heal from. Now, when you see Sagittarius in the 7th house, it's implying like a long distance relationship. Could be over the internet, or it could be actual long distance relationship. But Pluto retrograde means something is taken away. Something has to be taken away so that you can progress. And sometimes it may be that relationship, it may be that person. And sometimes the universe will take them away because something about the heart becomes more fonder. When people, separated, their heart, you appreciate it more because now you don't have it. And there'll be more information on that when you get to the 9th house. Your 8th house, when you see Capricorn in the 8th house, you're usually dealing with old souls. Old souls. Capricorn also rules your 10th house of career and reputation. Now, I'm going to keep going, but before we leave this reading, I will read everything that's in your 8th house because it's a lot. And that's how when you look on your chart, these are the things that they may be dealing with. Now we're going to skip your 9th house for a quick second. Go to your 10th house, Pisces. So that this is supposed to be your career. It's a spiritual career, which you can make money on. And remember, Jupiter rules your Pisces. So you do have Jupiter energy in your 12th house. So you do have like angels helping you. Because Pisces rules your 12th house. And Palace will help you see patterns. So if you could have any type of career that's spiritual, you'll have money. The universe will bless you. And when you get your 12th house better in order, you'll be blessed as well. Because that's why Vesta's there. Vesta's there to help you be that priestess that you are. And she's working with the Divine Mother, whether it's the Moon or a Virgo. So she's helping out in the home as well. And that's why your 12th house is opposite your 6th house. Now, again, Aries is in your 11th house, so you can deal with friends, association, and groups. Because you may have been intimidated before, and you just took it's like the easy way out. And I mean, everybody has a reason for everything they do. That's what I try to tell people. But everybody has to come to their own learning in life. You know. Like, let's just say somebody says, well, I want to be a priest. And they become a monk. Well, then, of course, you're not going to be around a lot of people. You're going to be in a monastery. But that's what he wants to do. That's his calling. That's why this chart might say, get out and be around people and, toughen up and all that. But it may not be your calling. Because Joseph, his brothers beat the crap out of him. Nobody told him, you need to take a kung fu class. You need to show your brothers you're not afraid of them. They beat Joseph up. He went to Egypt. He got all bullied and everything. And he stayed that way until his purpose, his calling came. And then he became a person in control. So that's why I say, you have spirituality all in your chart. This is what I'm saying is. So sometimes you got to look to God to show you what he wants you to do. And there will come a time, because when God did bring Joseph out to the public, they had to bow down because he was second in command. And that's what I see in your 11th house. You got the moon, you got Mars and Aries helping you, that when you do come out before the people. So let's look at the number 21. 21 degrees Aries. And give me a moment because I have to find my... Oh, I got it right here. Good. (21 degrees Aries). And again, 21 is a 777, the perfect balance. Lazy, carefree, conceited character. One loses one's credibility and wealth owing to one's indecisiveness and wrong judgment. Furthermore, one nurtures ambitions which are out of proportion with one's intellectual and financial abilities. The bear indicates that one keeps other people responsible for one's failures instead of acknowledging that one's negligence and lack of skills are the real cause of repeated setbacks. All right, that was a degree of 21 for Aries. I don't know. Let's see, since you got 9 degree, your sun sign. Let's do 9 degree Aries and see what they say. Quiet, courageous, generous character. Success is achieved in a very unusual and prestigious occupation requiring boldness, such as the military. And when you see Mars there, could be military, big game hunting, politics. Should the natal chart concur, one can have quite a remarkable career in chemistry, mechanics, metalwork, such as the manufacture of weapons. One wins many victories, including in the romantic field, which is fraught with hurdles and hurt esteems. This degree indicates that success is somehow linked to deaths and destruction. So, your Saturn is conjunct your Mercury retrograde, conjunct your Mars. So, if I went Saturn in Aries, it would be similar to Saturn conjunct Mars. We already know the Mercury retrograde means there's going to be communication problems. So it's the same way. If like I was watching mixed martial arts, and this black guy had to fight this white guy in the octagon, and so the white guy looked kind of goofy. He was tall, goofy, and he didn't do a lot of talking. Looked like typical looking nerd. And the black dude was saying, you can't beat me. I'm gonna tear. He was just talking mad trash. You can't beat me. I'm gonna destroy you in there. I'm just letting you know I'm gonna tear you up and blah blah blah. When we get up in there, I'm gonna hurt you really bad. If I lose to you, I'll leave. I'll give up everything. There's no way in the world I would let somebody that looks like you beat me. So that's going on, because they just think you're an introvert, you're a weirdo. There's nothing you could possibly do. But that's all based on external. That's why they say don't judge a book by the cover. So the white guy was talking. He said, listen, I've been in fights. I know how to fight. I've been in the octagon before. I know how to fight. He said, I know what he's saying, but I know how to fight. But because he talked a little goofy too. So they really believed he was going to go in there and get tore up. So he got in the ring with that dude, and they were boxing, and everything the black dude tried to do, he was blocking. The white guy was blocking. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, came a kick. He kicked that dude in the head and knocked him out. So you see that on a chart sometimes. And in your 11th house, they're not going to understand you. They're not going to agree with you. But that's why the universe has made you fortified to stand up to them and handle it. You just have to come out of your any type of hiding. They're advising you to come out of, but you got the universe helping you. So we're going to do Saturn conjunct Mars. And remember, Saturn rules Capricorn, which is your 10th house. So this could have to do with whatever career you choose, or your spiritual career as well. Give me a moment. So when Saturn conjuncts Mars, it's so that transformation becomes more powerful. Because your natal chart is definitely about transformation. Like darkness, everything from darkness to light. That's exactly what it is. Like you can't You can't stay quiet. You can't stay reclusive anymore. You got to deal with your 12th house, heal, and move on. So Saturn tends to make Mars, and remember Mars rules Aries, more cautious and conservative. And now I got to let you know, since Aries rules your first house where Gemini is, Gemini will give up. So I think they're trying to push you not to give up. And that's why wherever Sagittarius is, that's another one. Because I think that was in your relationship sector. Because you can't just give up. You got to deal with it. Like if you're dating somebody and you feel like they're not ideal, find out what's really going on with them and things like that. See, the reason why I love astrology, because it tells the truth. And even when I deal with natal cards, it tells the truth. And a lot of people, that's why a lot of people don't like me. Because they like fantasy. They'll pay a lot of money just to hear you lie to them. And that's a fact. I've seen it too many times. But when you really deal with this, you can see the wisdom of God. You can see the wisdom of spirit, the wisdom of astrology. Because they're not going to let you just stay. How can you have a terrible personality and ruin so many lives and keep doing it? And then get mad at somebody like me that brings it out. Like if I'm looking at your chart. I'm not saying I look at your chart to just go, hey, listen, you're horrible. That's not why I do it. But it's on your chart. I got a chart too. I look at my chart. I'm not freaking going crazy. It's stuff we need to work on. Look at the world around you. It's stuff we need to work on. But most people rather sweep it under the rug. That's the 12th house. They don't want to deal with the 12th house. They don't want to deal with faults and past lives or family. They don't want to deal with none of it. And when you do that, you walk away and you have to repeat it over and over and over again. So Saturn is making Mars, that Mars Aries energy, more cautious and conservative. So they say you have a strong drive for power and a lot of ambition, but you're often frustrated in achieving your goals. They say by a poor sense of timing or holding yourself back because of fear or tension. And that's what we've been learning. So the feeling can be something like you're driving a car with the brakes on or wanting to do things but saying, nah, I better not. Nah, I'm not going to. So they're saying in your house, what I already said, other people are not going to really understand you. They already told you that. They said that Mars and Saturn are not really good dance partners because Mars wants to go and Mars can be combative, and Saturn is trying to slow things down, get a little regulation going. But they said, but this can be better. This can work itself out. They can enhance each other in positive ways. So Saturn can be prude, discerning, strategic, and therefore can help Mars or Aries aggression. However it is. Because some aggression is not an external. Some aggression is internal. Somebody's in the house yelling, why did they do this to me? And I hate this person and blah, blah, blah. But that's still aggression. It's just that don't nobody hear you. And you could be doing that inside your head. Oh, I hate everybody in this class, blah, blah, blah. Boom, boom, boom. So Saturn is trying to help them rationalize more and how to deal with it. Mars marks beginnings. So that's what I'm trying to say. Your 11th house is about you coming out that shell. But they don't want you coming out too aggressively. That's why they put Saturn there. But Saturn also rules your 10th house where Capricorn is. So this has to do with your career, your Pisces calling. It says, whereas Mars in Aries marks beginnings, Saturn marks endings, especially on a material level, which we go back to your 2nd house. Saturn roadblocks may seem impossible to get around, leaving us feeling pessimistic and defeated. Mars and Saturn come together and we may experience starts and stops, progress and setbacks, and constant stress of all kinds. But in life, sometimes it's that way. Even anybody starts a business, they'll tell you how hard it can be. Doesn't look like it's going to fall, then it starts to go for a while, then it may slow down for a while, then it may go back for a while. Like out here, I don't know if you guys have Toys R Us, but they're all closing down. And I was pissed off because I had just put an application. Like, wow, why do all this paperwork and stuff? Because I'm real funny about giving out my information online. You do all this paperwork and they're closing down. So that's a setback, you can kind of call it. So that's life. The main thing is to get moving. And you got to learn to trust spirit. So that's why I said it would really work good for you to have your angel card decks and stuff like that. You got to really start to learn how to work with spirit and trust in spirit. So that's why they say, if it wasn't for Saturn being there with all that repression you have, when you finally do open up, it really would be like that. Somebody might say something to you and all of a sudden you're jumping in their face and all kind of crazy stuff. So Saturn is like helping you see that's not necessary. What's necessary is to focus on your skills, focus on your agenda, have goals. Why are you here? What are you trying to do? And focus on that so that the universe can bless you. Otherwise, you're going to focus on people. And they're always going to be somebody trying to hold you back or talking crazy and stuff like that. So they said many possible careers are possible with this aspect. Saturn conjunct Mars, especially those that require extra staying power, determination, and physical exercise. But you are going to have communication problems. That's why they did it that way. They want you to know you're going to have communication problems, but they don't want you to overreact by wanting to fight everybody and stuff like that. And then the sun is really making you courageous. The reason why that sun is there, so you had that Leo energy to make you courageous, so that your Gemini energy won't tap out. Because Gemini does like to give up. Even in twin flame relationships, you can see it in the third house of Gemini. Like they'll break up into separation and things like that. So we did cover all your houses. What you may want to look into, and I did try, I can't find anything. Your 12th house, you really want to know more about that moon 1111 because that's fabulous. But that's love. To me, it's twin flame messages. But I think I get what you're saying. You're not going until you come out of your little shell you're in, you're not going to connect with your twin. And it's not your twin's fault. Like I said, you got to start taking responsibility. Stop blaming everybody else. Start taking responsibility for yourself. But it's not really your twin's fault. Like I'm saying right now, I don't know what happened in the past life, because maybe it was your twin's fault. Maybe your twin is the reason why you're so reclusive. But in this life, it's not your twin's fault. You have to become more sociable, more fearless, and more outgoing, and working with your spirits and your spirit guides who are going to help you. So that's what's going on here. So Scorpio, we're going to do that. We're going to read that, and then we'll be concluding. All right, give me a second. I'm looking up lead for the 8th house. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio, which is ruled by Pluto and deals with secrets, sexual matters, mysteries, doubt, accusations, suspensions, supernatural psychic abilities, internal plotting, internal indignations, conspiracy, vengeance, revenge, anxiety, exotic, esoteric knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, obsessions, addictions, compulsion, power struggles, power manipulations, abuse, greed, lust, compulsive behavior, codependency, stalking, intense watery emotions, arguments, debates, tauntings, revenge, fear, intensity, psychic abilities, great transformations, high sexuality, doubt, depth, taxes, IRS, legal matters, lawsuits, court, inheritances, law breaking, shared resources, finances, business, karma, other people's money, the soul, reincarnation, afterlife, birth, death, resurrection, rebirth, regeneration, rejuvenation, animalistic behaviors, freaky, down and dirty behaviors, psychological situations, studies, research, knowledge, forbidden knowledge, hidden knowledge, investigations, investigators, managers, agents, addictions, drugs, alcoholism, other worlds, creepy, crawlies, other dimensions, science, higher sciences, holistic healing, healing, spiritual healings, alternative medicine, internet, long distance, advanced technology, alchemy, metaphysics, sacred geometry, things that are forbidden, taboo, astrology knowledge, hidden knowledge, aliens, higher life, deceived persons, astral planning, telekinesis, telepathy, dreams, interpretations, animals, enemies, Halloween, the divine womb, deities, tarot cards, higher thoughts, inheritances, loans, banking, animals, pregnancy, woman's body, and finances. The eighth house rules other people's money and transformations. Other people's money can mean debt, taxes, inheritances, wills, joint finances, shared resources, spouse or partner, loans. The eighth house is on the axis with the second house. This is the axis of money. Second house is your money. Eighth house is other people's money. Transformation can be mental, emotional. Physically, it can be sex, start of life, pregnancy, and death, literally or figuratively. And in pregnancy, it could be process of life or major transformation to the woman's body. So again, your second house has a lot to do with, should be your money, but for some reason family's there, and we did kind of cover that. Your eighth house is other people's money, but Capricorn, so you may have a job with dealing with other people's money, shared resources and things like that. But again, a lot of this becomes more evident when you stand up. You may already know, or if not, when you stand up, because until you stand up and do what they're telling you to, they can't change it, they can't move anything. So you would have to stand up and want to move on. And again, the more you do that, the more you'll be more ready for your twin. I'm going to keep saying this to people. I've been doing this for a long time now. The best thing you can do is stop playing games. Because, you know, women want to play hard to get and all that. Twin flames is nothing like that. That's why I keep telling you, DNA awakening. And this is about you fulfilling your purpose and standing ready for the universe to bring that twin. But then, if you know this, when your twin comes, it's up to you to try to at least try to let the twin know that there's no, you know, you're not looking for argument, you're not looking for separation, and you know you would like to talk, because otherwise y'all are both going to keep hurting each other, keep separating, tick for tack, and all kind of stuff, and it's not going to work. And then before you know it, this life will be over, and the union will never have taken place. But it's not about somebody waiting around talking about where's my twin, why doesn't my twin. You got to become proactive. And I know, like this reading, like I said, she never asked about a twin. She did this natal reading by herself, but now I know why. But it's still on the chart either way. And some people say, listen, I give up. It's too hard. It's totally up to you, but it's not going away. Just so you know, your twin flame thing is not going away. And no matter how far you get, the universe's job is to bring it back. So that's all I can do here for this particular reading. If anybody else is interested in any of these readings, and again, it is not just twin flames, it's really anything that has to do with the unknown. So you can contact me, questions you have, name numerology, birth numerology, life purposes, numerology based on your name, and birth card readings. So anything we do on this channel, you could just contact us. There's some information in the description box, but like I said, you could also contact that. The information is there as well. God bless.